Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rainey. This is the Enchanted Planner, and today I have 25 different ways you can use your perpetual calendars or the monthlies. This is a collaboration with Di from Creative Karma Designs, because her and I like to partner up for stuff. So she's going through 25 ways and I'm going through 25 ways. So we're going to get started. So ignore the dates on these because I've just created some examples because I don't actually use a lot of these, but these are great ideas. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to talk about today is using it for your cleaning. Now, anything that I demonstrate or show in the perpetual can also be used in the monthly, and I've got some examples in the monthly that we will move to at a later point in the video, but you can simply use it to track your zone cleaning if you're doing Fly Lady or any type of cleaning routine that you have. Okay. The second one is meal planning. So in that case, I left this open because I wanted to actually write some stuff in with you. So we'll grab this for an example. So we're going to do, say, this week. Okay. Hopefully I'm all in the same week. It's one of those days. Okay. So we've got a week highlighted here. Actually, let's make this a double. I love these highlighters, these Sharpie highlighters. They're like my absolute favorite. I mean, the mild liners are good, but I find these to be really good. I just wish they came in like more colors than they do, but what are you gonna do? All right, so we have an example here. So maybe on Monday, we're going to have, let's say pot roast, okay? Now, you, depending upon the size of your family, have an option. You can either have pot roast here, or you could move pot roast onto the Tuesday, so you break it up. Okay, and then because the pot roast was done in sort of a beef stock, you can also make, are you with me, people? Can make French onion soup, which is literally what we just did this week, French onion soup. Okay, then maybe in here, you're gonna have a pan of lasagna, which means you could have the lasagna as well with your French onion soup, or you could move it and wait and have it on the Thursday. And depending again upon the size of your family and upon the size of the lasagna you make, you may get 2 or 3 meals out of it. And then let's say on Thursday, we're going to have, let's see, chicken wraps, and fresh veggies. Okay, this is generally like a one-off meal. So here on the Friday, you might decide to do like, let's do tacos, because I love tacos. We could do tacos on Tuesday. I could have done that too, but let's say tacos. And you make enough tacos that you have, so let's do tacos and Spanish rice. I'm just pulling things out of my brain. And then you have tacos and Spanish rice, or tater tots, or what have you, okay? So there's another example on using this as a meal tracker. Going back to the perpetual, we're gonna talk about tracking like symptoms. Like in my case, I generally don't track too much in these, but I do track in the bottom of my health planner. I will track if I've had migraines, what my menopause symptoms are like if my hot flashes are off the chain or what. I also track sometimes the level of pain I'm experiencing with the damaged nerve in my neck, because this all makes really useful information anytime I have to go in and see my primary care physician. So that is number 3. Number 4, we're going to move into one of my monthlies. And I have one picked out already. And we're going to talk about tracking either faith planning, or in this case, I track my daily tarot draw. This is what I use my monthly for in my horizontal layout, as you guys are aware. But you could also do your faith planning in here as well, like which scriptures you're going to read on what day. We're back into the perpetual. And the next thing you can track is your water intake. And again, this is something that could also easily be tracked in your monthly. So I've just made an example down here of what that would look like. And if you were like, I don't know, I like color coding things, but it depends on what you're using this for. If you're only going to choose one or two things, you could have a couple of different colors so it sort of jumps out at you. But as this example, as you can see, like, I didn't use those sides. I kind of stayed within these two so I didn't have to flip too much, but just to make it pop so you guys could see what I was actually trying to show you. The next thing we're going to talk about that you could track is your movement or exercise programs. And that example is something I have here. So maybe on the Monday you're doing chest and back, and then on Wednesday you're doing legs and abs, and then, you know, on Friday you're doing cardio or HIIT training. The next one we're going to talk about is not something I support, but I know a lot of people do use it, is calorie tracking. So I've got some examples of calorie tracking here, like 2,000, 1,800, 2,200, 1,800, 1,800, 1,900, and 2,000 calories. I'm not a big supporter of the calories in, calories out modalities. I've found better ways to track my nutrition. All right, so the next one we're going to talk about that I've got an example for is your sleep. So I've done this in this green. So 8.5 hours, 9 hours, 7.5, and so on and so forth. And again, this is something I used to track in my health planner, but I have an app as well. So I found it a little bit redundant, but I will say I do miss it. So I may go back to tracking it. The next thing would be, of course, future events like doctor's appointments or anniversaries and birthdays, which of course would also go into your monthly. Now on the next example, we're going to talk about a gratitude practice. So like, you know, today I am grateful for, you could write one thing in each box every day of the month. You could also do that as well in the perpetual. Next one up is social media statistics. So as you guys know, with my YouTube channel, I track a fair amount of stuff on my monthly. So let's just pull that out of the way so you guys can have a look. And let's move this so you guys get a better view. So I track all my social media stats down here in the bottom every day. So if you have a social media, you might want to use your monthly or your perpetual to track those. Next up would be a sports schedule. So I've got here baseball, the Tuesday, Thursday, and the Saturday. The next one I came up with, I can't even speak today, would be budget related stuff. So I've got another example. So I've got two examples here, but the first one we're going to talk about is a savings tracker. So, you know, if you're doing a savings challenge, you could put in what you saved every day. And then of course I've got this one for spending, but that's later on in the list. YouTube, again, back to social media and whatnot, you could use your monthly or your perpetual to determine what you're going to post each day, or if you have a particular theme for each week, and so on and so forth. The next example, again, we're going back to the monthly, which is today I learned. So it's also the fun time, or it's also fun sometimes to just try and remember, like learn something new every day. And generally we are learning something new every day, but we don't really think about it because they're rather inconsequential and it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. But I encourage you guys, track something you learned every day. You'd be surprised at the aha moments. And I think that it facilitates more learning because you're drawing attention to it, and what we spend time focusing on, of course, is more of what we generally focus on and attract. So, you know, it's that whole where we focus. What was that? What's the saying? Our focus, where we focus, it grows, basically. And I can't remember the exact thing right now. All right. The next one would be a step tracker. So if you do like daily walks and whatnot, you may want to track your steps in your monthly, or again, in your perpetual. Oh my gosh, I'm tripping over words. So say here, today you did 10,000, tomorrow was 11,000, this day might be 9,000, and so on and so forth. And of course, again, you can do the same within the monthly spread. Aha, the next one is the bills and the spending tracker, which I don't know. I think the perpetual works fairly well for this. But again, your monthly also works very well if you wanted to write in quickly every day. Like, so today I spent $50. This day was 75. This was 0, and so on and so forth. The next one, I gotta get back to the perpetual. My pages, it was all messy. Would be stuff to do with astrology and moonology. So usually, like if there's a new moon, the moon stays in each sign approximately a day and a half to 2 days. So, you know, you could write down, so it's in Aquarius, it's in Pisces, it's in Aries, and so on and so forth, right? As it moves through the astrological correspondences. And the next one would be TV shows. Now, I'm not a big person for watching. Well, we don't actually have cable. We haven't had cable in about, I don't know, 15 years or so, I guess. We do a lot of streaming. So you could, you know, note when your show comes on so you know when to expect it. Because they also do things like season breaks and like, you know, what is it? When they do a break in like just between December and February, they usually do like a 1 month break in there. And then sometimes shows will break for the summer. You could write down in your perpetual or your monthly when they're coming back online. The next one would be, when did I last? So you could note in here that you rotated your tires here, you tested the smoke detector on this day, because it gives you a quick reference to look back. Because, you know, I don't know when the last time I tested, like, let's just use this as an example. I can't remember the last time we tested the smoke detectors in the house, which is what it's been on my mind. So I'm like, I should probably do that. But using it and putting it into the perpetual, because it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's 6 months in 2 pages. It's really easy to see, okay, so I haven't tested them for quite a while, which is one of the things I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll use this for when did I last? Because I don't usually ever use my perpetual, but it's not because I don't want to, it's because I haven't really found a use for it that I can maximize it. The next one is work or school schedule, which again, you could track on your monthly. Next up is periods and fertility. So I was working with a client once who had PCOS and was desperate to get pregnant. So we were tracking her cycles, as well as, you know, her doctor wanted her to track her cycles because there's different hormonal changes that happen at different times. So it's nice to be able to reference those. And then when you go into the doctor, you can say, here is where we're at. And then they can kind of gauge where your fertility window may be. The next one up is if you were a gardener, you can track when you planted seeds, when you've harvested something, when it first sprouted. And again, you could also track that in the monthly. And the final one is personal grooming, massages, manicures, facials, waxing. So I've just slipped in here like manicure and haircut. And that's a wrap, you guys. There was something else I was going to show you. Oh, exercise. There's an example in exercise in here. Like I was tracking workouts. Like I was planning my workouts in the monthly, and then I was transferring those into my movement column on the weeklies. So I think tracking exercise and stuff in your health monthly is a really good idea. It's easier to plan it out. And then here's just another example, because this is when everything went to it went to last year. But yeah, I just hope you guys get some ideas from this. Make sure you go and check out Di's video as well. I will link it below, because she additionally has another 25 things you can use these for. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, drop us a comment down below letting us know you're new so we can formally welcome you to our wonderful community. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.